Hi, my name is Meghan Simpson with my Gypsy Skies, a lifestyle blogger for the flying, hunting, and traveling enthusiasts. Today I'm at the residence of Tom Foss, where I'll be doing my first video blog interview with his son Cam Foss. Follow me inside and find out what it really takes to be a hunting addict. My first video blog topic is called Interview with an Addict, and what better person to interview than Cam Foss. Now Cam, let's talk about how many days you actually spend on the mountain a night. Like not just out for the day and back to your truck, like sleeping in a tent on the mountain.
I think scouting probably starting in May, probably spend about 30 days into the summer, and then maybe a hunt, and then probably 30 more days, August, September, October, and then maybe 2 weeks in November into December. So maybe all 60 days almost, or 45 to 60 days a year.
Okay, and that's sleeping in a tent and
yeah, that's
the full meal deal.
Out in a tarp or tent or wall tent or whatever it is.
Do you have your favorite summer tent, winter tent?
Yeah, so you could just use like a Helleberg one-man tent, use that kind of right through to the fall, and then into some of those later season hunts, like a more heavy-duty tent or like a snow checker wall tent. That's pretty packable and pretty good for those late season hunts.
Okay, and warm enough for a girl to sleep in. No complaining, I guess.
Yeah, so the warmth makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I saw a picture on your Facebook recently. It must have been the end of the season when you were packing out or something, and your pack looked pretty heavy, and it must have been the snow trekker tent in your pack then.
Yeah, it was the last day of the season. We were coming out. The pack was pretty heavy. Unfortunately, it wasn't hauling sheep horns out, so.
Oh yeah, would have been too heavy then probably.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you prepare physically and mentally for the sheep season?
So I think kind of as I've done more sheep hunts or more hunts, I kind of figured out, or maybe it doesn't seem like it's much preparation, but we have this hill and it takes about 5 minutes to hike it, and it's just like a straight up grind. So I'll start with 60 pounds and then do that 4 or 5 times a week leading up to a hunt, and then keep adding 10 pounds each week. And it's like kind of mental training and physical training, but and it's just a grind, and we just call it the bitch hill because it's a bitch to get up.
And that's in Calgary, or?
That's in Calgary, yeah.
Oh, okay. And so mentally, it's probably those late season hunts that really get to you with the weather, the wind, snow, when it can be minus 20.
Yeah, those late season hunts, kind of every element, short days, cold, for some reason you're not drinking as much water, snow's deep, you got more gear, you're maybe wearing snowshoes, your packs are as heavy or just as heavy, it's kind of slow going, it's windy and cold, so they're a grind, physically and mentally.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
So tell me about your love of hunting. It's not just bow hunting, hunting in general.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I think my love goes beyond bow hunting or the kill, but the whole process, and then just like everything it takes, or just being outside, exploring new areas, hunting different animals, and then seeing like other people have success or being with them when they're having successes is pretty good as well.
So did you have a lot of role models, hunting role models growing up besides your dad?
Yeah, so definitely my dad, probably my brother. He was a role model, younger brother too. And then also I really looked up to guys like Jack Frost and Tom Hoffman and Chuck Adams, who were like crazy bow hunters who were exploring new areas that had never been bow hunted, or animals that had never been hunted in areas that had never been hunted, with guides who had never seen bows. So that was, I really looked up to like what those guys were doing and how they did it. They were just out there for the adventure, exploring, and it was just, they were just pretty inspirational.
So when you talk about age matters, can you expand on what this means to you and how it's important for the younger generation and up-and-coming hunters?
I think, well, age matters started when we were really young, and it just started like the first sheep we saw. You could see there was really distinct age rings in it, and that was kind of like a fascination, and that was what we were drawn to. And I'd see a mount or even a sheep in the field, and just be like, hey, what's that? And then I can remember my dad saying, well, that's an age ring. And then we just learned how to age sheep. And that went on, say, like the ibex, and you could tell how old they were. And so it was kind of always a fascination, like that deep curl or that deep indent in the sheep horns. So that's kind of how it started. And then I can always remember picking up a sheep horn. The first thing I do is count the age rings, see how old it was, or getting a ram in the spotting scope and just looking at the age rings and seeing how old is that ram. And so that was kind of where it started. Where it's kind of gone is just being involved with wild sheep, and then just started knowing the benefits of harvesting older rams. So that's kind of where it's gone. And then also too, like, just a lot of respect for old rams in that they're hard to hunt, they're unpredictable, they're like a completely different species. And then I had a really good buddy, Matt Gerard, kind of put this all into words with a really good article, why age is almost just as important as like the score as well. So that's kind of where it's gone.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's important to instill those values in the up-and-coming hunters about, you know, buying tags over the counters and supporting different organizations and, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think is just passing on, say, the conservation benefits, that kind of getting involved in like an organization like Wild Sheep, the benefits of kind of wild sheep conservation, habitat conservation, enhancement as well. And then say even just non-hunters, like the role that we should play or do play in age matters or wildlife conservation.
Mm-hmm.
Is something that's really huge.
Yeah, it's important, I guess, for the younger generation to know that you can go out and just have a good time and not have to kill something, you know? Yeah,
like kind of just beyond the kill, like that process, the hunt, respecting the animal, whether it's the craziest sheep or a mule deer doe that you're just getting meat for. Definitely like respecting where you are, the habitat, the
mm-hmm.
animal, and then also just like sharing that with your hunting buddies or the moment you have in out hunting.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that hunting is changing in the world today with all the new gear and social media, new technology, you know, hunters thinking that they have to have the best and the biggest?
Hunting is definitely changing, part for the good, part for the bad. One of the like real positive things is just technology. It's gotten so good. The internet's made the learning curve a little less steep. We have access to so much information. The technology and gear is good, weapons, bows, and then even just like camo, technical gear, tents is really good. So I think that's really positive. But on the negative side, it's we're almost losing our appreciation for like why we're out there hunting.
Yeah.
We just see like a picture of a big ram or a big mule deer, but we don't know like what it took to get that deer there, the effort it takes, just the whole process of that, or the appreciation for it, kind of missing out on that as well. So
yeah.
That's sort of the negative side.
So what sparked your interest to hunt overseas?
I don't know how many years ago it was, but I saw a video that Tom Hoffman had. It was like a home video, and he was on this crazy adventure in Azerbaijan hunting turkey. And I think he went 7 years in a row, or I don't know how, but he didn't get one. And he was there for like 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and 4 weeks. And he kept going year after year. And it was just like way beyond the kill, or way beyond the hunt. He was just kind of hiking around with his bow. They were like backpacking chickens and eating eggs on the side of the mountain. They didn't really have mountain house or anything. They just were out there for an adventure. They were hiking around in rain and crazy mountains, and the flowers were like so big they were over top of them, and they were just in the coolest mountains. And I after seeing that video, I thought to myself, that's the craziest adventure. I'm going to go do that. And that's sort of where it started. I still remember that exact video and kind of sharing that with Tom, and then I was like, I'm going to do that. And so probably a bunch of years later, I went and did it. So.
Yeah. How many times have you gone over there?
or to Azerbaijan.
Just overseas?
Oh, I think 5 times.
Okay.
So yeah.
Did you ever feel nervous over there?
No, I haven't felt scared. Nervous going maybe the first couple times,
yeah.
And then now I'll say it's like a nervous excitement. But no, I haven't been really too nervous.
Yeah, and do you recommend a interpreter over there?
Well, interpreter is pretty loose. They kind of provide sometimes an interpreter, but that's kind of up for interpretation too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Okay, and having a great group of hunting buddies is pretty important. Do you have a group like that that you can call when you're, stuck out on a mountain and you need help packing the animal out or anything like that?
Yeah, I definitely have a really good group of buddies. I don't want to call them too many times to help me pack an animal because I don't want them to see him in my secret spot the next year.
Yeah.
But for things like support or pushing myself or tuning my bow or training or just bouncing ideas or staying motivated, I think like a real good group of guys and support probably has helped my hunting, and like I'm really lucky to have that.
Yeah, that's what I wish that a lot of females had, actually, a group that they could have like that.
Yeah.
That they would benefit from like that.
Yeah.
But Cam, do you think that you can be addicted to hunting?
Yeah, most definitely. I think I am.
Yeah.
Like very simply, the first thing is you hike up a mountain and your legs are burning, your lungs are burning, you're sweating, and you're kind of pushing yourself, and there's just like that feeling where you keep pushing yourself and keep pushing yourself to like reach the top of the mountain. That's kind of an addictive feeling. The view you see when you get to the top of the mountain, that's like an addictive feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're sitting there glassing for hours and all of a sudden you see a big round come over the timber, you're kind of, that feeling you get right then, you're kind of like, yes, and that's a really addictive feeling. The kill is pretty special too, or sharing that with people, those moments is pretty addictive. And then just beyond that, like the whole process is addictive as well. Like if I'm not hunting, I'm training for a hunt.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not working, I'm thinking about going on my next hunt or what I could have done better, what gear I can use. So yeah, it definitely consumes you. It's addicting for sure.
Yeah. So what do you do in your off time when you're not thinking about hunting or planning your next hunt?
When I'm not, I'm probably fishing a bunch, fly fishing a bunch, and then either hiking, working out, or coaching a little kids lacrosse team here in town. So
okay,
that's about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up my first video blog interview, and just like to thank Cam Foss for being my first victim. Thank you.